Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Mariella and my channel is Mariella's This and That. If you would like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment, and share this video. Also, if you would like, you could join the channel by hitting the little join button, or you could give a super thanks. Today we're going to do something a little different. I'm not cooking today. It's Mother's Day weekend, and I thought we would have a chat. So, come on, let's get started. With it being Mother's Day weekend, I woke up this morning and I was thinking how much I miss my mom. My mom passed away on March the 27th of 2011. And all day I've been reminiscing about the good old days. Remembering things we used to do and just laughing, because memories of my mom bring me back so much joy. And I thought I would put this video out because I remember every year I would say, "What do you need?" And she'd say, "I don't need nothing." So then I would have to rack my brain thinking of things that I could buy her for Mother's Day or her birthday or Christmas, because at any time it was time for her to get gifts, she didn't want none. What I realized since she's been gone is when she told me she didn't want nothing or didn't need nothing, instead of telling me what she really wanted was to spend time together, to make memories, so that when she was gone, I could look back on the memories that we have together. So what I'm trying to say is, if you are a mom, or if your mom is still living, one of the best Mother's Day presents you could give her is spending time with her and making memories. Because buying things, buying flowers, cooking meals, and all that, you can do that anytime. And when you go to visit your mom, put your phones down and actually spend time with her and make some good memories. Like, I remember we used to go berry picking. And the funny part of it is, when we would go strawberry picking, I would help pick strawberries. But when she would go black raspberry picking or blackberry picking, I never got out of the car and went and picked those, because I seen what they went through to get them. Between getting scratched up by the thorns and all that, and then they would come home and they'd have jiggers. Or this one time, her and my sister went, and my sister ended up in the emergency room because she got attacked by fire ants. All by picking, I think they were blackberries. that time that she ended up in the hospital from picking berries. But I would sit in the car, and it was funny because I wasn't only sitting in the car, but they would walk this whole, because where they would go blackberry picking was next to the railroad tracks. So they would walk the whole length of the railroad tracks picking berries. And I mean, she would get at least 2 5-gallon buckets full of blackberries or black raspberries. And as they walked, I would move the car closer. So when they decided they were done, they wouldn't have to walk back to the car. The car would be right there. And then there was this one time they were berry picking, and they got attacked by bees. And they come running out of them blackberry bushes, and the bees were chasing them. We never laughed so hard. And then this one time, we went strawberry picking. Me, my mom, and my aunt. We went strawberry picking, and my aunt was 9 months pregnant. And we get to the strawberry field to pick strawberries. And my aunt gets out of the car. And the guy that owned the farm, he said, "Oh, no, 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 no. You are not picking strawberries." And my aunt says, "Yes, I want strawberries. I'm going to pick strawberries." And the guy said, "No, you're not." He said, "I will sell you these already picked." He said, "I just picked them this morning. I will sell you however many baskets of these you want, but you're not going in my field to pick strawberries because you are going to have that baby anytime." He said, "No, you're not." So then we get all these strawberries and we go home. And because he wouldn't let her in the field, so we bought what he had picked that morning. And so we go home, and they're washing and cleaning and all that, getting ready to make strawberry jam and frozen strawberries. And my aunt's water breaks. And my mom told her, and she started having labor pains. And my mom told her, she said, "We got to get to the hospital." And my aunt said, "I ain't going nowhere until I get these strawberries done." She said, "I'm not leaving you with this big mess." She said, "This baby can just wait." And it's like, my mom said, "No, we'll go to the hospital and I'll come home after you have the baby. I'll come home and I'll finish." So they went to the hospital, and while they were gone, I finished cleaning the strawberries and slicing them up and stuff. So when my mom came home, all she had to do was decide if she wanted them frozen or if she wanted to make jam out of them. But yeah, we've had some wild times. And then the sad part of it is, once I became an adult, because it's really funny, because the good memories I have of my mom is when I was growing up. And then once I became an adult, it's like, yeah, I have memories of going over to the house for holidays and stuff. But once I got married and moved out of the house, there's not that many memories. And then in the end, the last about 5 years, my mom had dementia. And it just kept getting worse. And the last 7 months, actually about the last year, my mom had slipped back into being a child. So she was no longer my mom. I was more like her mom, and she was my child instead of the other way around. And it's just sad. It's very sad to think that the roles reversed. And about 4 days before my mom passed away, my mom woke up and she had had a heart attack in the middle of the night. And she was complaining about her chest hurting. Only my mom didn't talk in sentences. My mom talked in words. Like she would say, hurt. And then she would point to her chest. And the aide went in to get her up that morning. And she came out because by that time I was not working and I was on disability. And she came out and she said, there's something wrong with your mom. And so I went in to check on her. And I ended up calling the squad. And they took her to the hospital. And the hospital drives me crazy. They really did. Because I would follow the squad to the hospital. And I would have to go in the emergency room and they would take her straight back. And I would have to be standing out there arguing with the lady at the desk that you need to let me back there because they just brought my mother in and my mother cannot communicate. They're not going to understand what they're telling her. And they're like, well, you got to wait until they get her set up in the room and all this. And it's like, let me go back there. So what I ended up doing was I waited for somebody to come out and then I snuck back there. And when I went back there, because at this time, my mom might have weighed 60 pounds. And when I got back there, and the doctor confirmed that she had had a heart attack. And he said, and there's a possibility she could have another one. He said, we have a problem. He said, because if we try to revive her, we are going to kill her. Because she's so little, she's so fragile, that if we try to do CPR on her, it will kill her. He said, so right now we're going to admit her into the hospital, and they did. And he told me that she could pass away at any time. Well, she lived 4 days. And in that time, it was like my mom was already gone. Because she would open her eyes, but she wasn't there. I mean, it was so weird that she wouldn't talk, she wouldn't do nothing. And my aunts and uncles came up, to see her and stuff. And my Aunt Judy, it was so funny because they would still bring my mom's dinner plates in. Even though my mom wouldn't eat them, they would still bring her food in. And my aunt says, I'm going to feed her. And I said, okay, go ahead, try. Well, just as my aunt sat down to feed her, it was like someone flipped the switch. And my mom was back to herself before she ever got sick. Before she ever got dementia, before she ever had a stroke, she was back to that person. And so when more and more people kept coming up to visit, they're like, there ain't nothing wrong with her. She's fine. And I remember my one cousin came in. Her and her daughter came in. And my mom was really close to her. And she sat down on the bed with my mom. And my mom was talking to her. And my mom told her, she said, Sherry, she said, I got one thing to tell you. If you want to go to heaven, you got to change your ways. And Sherry promised that she would change her ways and all that. And as soon as my cousin walked out the door, it was like someone flipped the switch again, and my mom was back to the way she was before, where she was incoherent and like her soul had already left. And in less than 24 hours, my mom passed away that day. And it's just weird how it was like it was like God had told her, I'm not done with you yet. You still have something else you have to do. And she came back and she did what she had to do. And then he told her, okay, that her body was tired and it was okay, that she could come home. So on Sunday, if I could find a ride, I will be spending Mother's Day at the cemetery with my whole family. Because both of my sisters are there and my dad is there and so is my mom. So we will have a good old time at the cemetery on Sunday. So just remember, if your family's alive, spend time with them to make the memories. Because eventually memories are all you're going to have. My mom's last living sister, out of 13 kids, there's only one left. And it's my aunt. And she posted this thing on Facebook the other day. And it was a list of all of her brothers and sisters, which are my mom and my aunts and uncles, and the age they were when they died. Now, when I turned 61, I was like ecstatic because I had lived longer than most of my cousins that have passed away. And some of my aunts and uncles. When I read that list, there are only like 3, my mom included, that has lived past the age of 61. And it's scary. That is a scary thought, to think that I've outlived most of my relatives. So just remember to give your mom a hug and your dad, and to make every day Mother's Day and Father's Day, not just Sunday. Because I'm sure if you ask them, they would tell you all they want is for you to spend time with them. They don't want gifts. They just want your time. That is one of the most precious gifts you could give them, is your time. So you all have a good weekend, and happy Mother's Days to the mothers and to the fathers who are being both mother and father. And if you would, if you have kids, would you please tell them what you really want? That you just want to spend time with them. That you don't need gifts. You just need the gift of their time. And if you can't tell them, then share my video with them. Because I'm telling you, the most precious thing are the memories we make. So thank you all for watching. I know it's a little different than what I've been doing, but I felt like this had to be done today. So if you would like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment, and share my video. And you all have a good weekend. And don't forget, don't let anybody steal your sunshine or take your smile. And have a good weekend and a good Mother's Day. Bye-bye.